The plot of Synopsis starts in Mushnik's flower shop, a store that was falling down because the few plants and stock they had there were just running down and fading. There we get to meet Mr. Mushnik and his two employees, Audrey and Seymour Kilvorn, who secretly had a crush on her. So later on, Audrey turned to help the business and help him bring more customers. He took Mr. Mushnik to look at one of the exotic plants Seymour has been tinkering around with. Mushnik is intrigued and allows Seymour to inspect his flytrap, weird-looking plant, and he named him in honor of lover Audrey II. Later on, Seymour and Crystal performed an upbeat number explaining that a strange flower was purchased in Chang's flower shop. The plant appeared mysteriously after a total eclipse of the sun, and later on, the strange plant draws customers and business is soon booming because it was just so weird. Then, Mushnik invites Seymour and Audrey out of town, and he discovers that the plant actually was drawn, or the plant's health was basically pushed over the human blood. So, Seymour encourages to prick his fingertips and feed Audrey II his own blood. This only lasts for a few days, but later on, the plant actually says, "Feed me," and starts singing, dancing, and just vampire vegetable eating. The 1960s version, written by Charles B. Griffith, is one part horror, part comedy, and part crime drama. It begins with a voiceover narrative in a very nice moral of Skid Row neighborhood from a Joe Friday-like detective who tells the story of a very unusual plant in the flower shop.
My name is Maria Fernanda, and I'm going to tell you the character details and actors. The actors were Jonathan Hayes, that was playing Seymour Kilburn, who was a florist that was in love with Audrey. Jackie Joseph was playing Audrey, who was a nice girl that was dating a sadistic dentist named Orin Saribello. Mel Wells, who was playing Gravis Mushnik as a owner of a florist. Burson Fudge was a customer who liked to buy flowers. Sidi Shiva, who was played by Leola Wendorf, as a customer who buys flowers every day for a dead relative. Marty Bell, who was playing Winfred Kilburn, that was the mother of Seymour. Wally Campo, that was playing Joy Fink, who was a detective. Jack Nicholson, who was playing Wilberforce, who was a masochistic dentist patient. And Charles B. Tripton, who was playing the voice of Audrey Jr., who was the carnivorous plant. The genre of Little Shop of Horrors movie is horror, musical, romantic, comedy, fiction, and black comedy. The original version year of Little Shop of Horrors is in 1986, directed by Frank Oz. It is a film adaptation of the off-Broadway musical comedy of the same name by composer Alan Menken and writer Howard Ashman, which in turn was based on the 1960 film.
So the intended message of Little Shop of Terror is essentially that the story, the desire of fame and success was taken too far, resulting in tragedy. So with this work, the creators wanted to say that if you put emphasis on dreams and making success a high priority, it always leads to people losing sight of what is really important.